What if I were to tell you that all the archaeology that we have today, all the history that we've uncovered, all of it agrees with the Bible? Now, if I were to tell you, for instance, that there was a certain group of people that was uncovered after thousands of years by modern archaeologists that the Bible said were there, well, you would probably say, oh, that doesn't make all that big a deal, because the Bible, after all, is a historical fiction. Some skeptics would say that. But what if I were to tell you that, more importantly, there have been no proofs of any kind of archaeological evidence that would contradict the history of the Bible? In other words, it makes the Bible from the Old Testament to the New Testament completely true in what we can study about it. That would also lend credibility to its stories. Now let's read some of what modern archaeologists have to say. And I've already quoted a couple of these. I'm just going to re-quote them. Donald F. Wiseman. The discoveries found thus far have led scholars, no matter what their religious opinion, to affirm the historical nature of the narratives related to the patriarchs. Now the patriarchs, of course, are the fathers of the faith, Moses and the prophets and such and so forth. H. Rowley. It is not because scholars of today begin with a more conservative presuppositions than their predecessors that they have a much greater respect for the patriarchal stories than formerly common, but because the evidence warrants it. Now, where did I get all these guys from? Well, it's out of a book called The New Evidence That Demands a Verdict by Josh McDowell. And let me just go ahead and continue to read on. W.F. Albright from the University of Chicago. There can be no doubt that archaeology has confirmed the substantial historicity of the Old Testament tradition. Raymond A. Bowman from the University of Chicago. The confirmation of the biblical narrative at most points has led to a new respect for biblical tradition and more conservative conception of biblical history. Nelson Goulet. It is worth emphasizing that in all this work, no archaeological discovery has ever controverted a single properly understood biblical statement. Now, these are professors, Reformed Jewish scholars, and others who are just saying, look, we can't find any evidence that contradicts the Bible. Again, maybe that's not amazing to you. Maybe you can accept that, but what about just the reliability of the Scriptures? Against all odds, it is held up true in its manuscripts and its prophecies and its archaeology and its eyewitness accounts. These things lend considerable credibility to the stories of the Bible. It means that it wasn't just written by crazy people. These people knew what they were doing. They were actually trying to write a historical document. Now, I found all of this information, the information I've had in the past 4 videos about all these different types of proof for the Bible, specifically the New Testament. And I found all of this in a short amount of time of study. Only about 4 or 5 hours I put the information together. I guarantee you would find the same amount of overwhelming information about the historical Bible and the reliability of it if you studied it yourself. Now, if you're not going to, and if you're going to accept what I've said, then I would encourage you to read this with a new fervor, with a new respect, and say, well, maybe these things actually did happen. Let me just determine what I'm going to do with them. And now revisit my Paul video and realize that Acts is a historical book about the Acts of the Apostles, and explain the lives of Paul, of Stephen, of Peter. Read Romans, written by Paul, and try to explain away how true the ideas of theology are in it. I hope you enjoy this study, and I hope it leads to truth.
Thank you for the cross.